What's going on, world? ES1 Ross back here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Much love to everybody. Shout out to the masculine mercenaries. One love, man. Y'all see the title tonight. We'll be chopping up with my man Javen Bullets. I see he jumped on and he jumped off. I'm gonna hit him up in a minute so we could definitely chop it up about the recent current events that's been going on. You know, it's been a minute since my man Javen came through to the platform. So, tonight, we just gonna chop it up, man. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. I appreciate y'all. Every stream, we require at least 3 Cash App donations. Cash App $ Sheep Stay Sleep TV is where y'all can donate. Cash App $ Sheep Stay Sleep TV is where y'all could donate to the show. You also could donate through the super chat. Leave a question with your donation. I'll read your question. Also, other donation links will be in the chat room. All donations is very much appreciated. If you tuned in once again, make sure you hit the like button. Hit the like button. Also, share the show. Let's share the show. Give me a minute, y'all. I'm going to hit my man Javen up and we're going to start the show. So, y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Share the show. This one going to be interesting, y'all. Oh, salute,
can you hear me?
bro. What's going on?
Oh, what's good? What's
Yeah,
good?
you good?
Yeah, because I was trying to get in before, and I was like, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me?" And I wasn't getting no response.
Nah, I had to that's because I gotta add you to the stream. That's what it
Oh,
is.
all
It's not.
right,
It's kind of different from Hangouts.
all right, cool.
Shout out to E313 for that donation. Appreciate you, E313. So let me know when you're ready, bro, and we can start whenever you're ready.
All right, I'm ready. I'm ready right now.
All right, cool.
Yeah, because it was just like we was just having some. I was having some issues because I was like, I'm thinking like it's something on my end or something like
Nah,
that. Because I was like, I can. Can you can
nah,
hear
it
me
was
fine?
me. It was me. It was me. It
Can
was
you
me.
hear me? Yeah. Can you hear me fine or am I like?
Nah, you good. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Do you hear any like background noise or anything?
Yeah. I hear the babies, bro. I definitely
All
hear
right.
the babies.
All right. So give me 1 minute. I'm about to move real quick.
All right, cool. Shout out to everybody that's in the building, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button and share the show. Hit the like button and share the show, man. King Darian, salute. My man Artisan, salute. Young Manhood, salute. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in right now.
Hello, you hear me?
Yeah. You good, bro?
Yeah. Because my girl stepped out for a minute. That's what happened.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
So what's been going on, man? It's been a minute. You know, I definitely been seeing you still on these fools' necks. So what's been up, bro? What's been going on, man?
Just call me. Somebody just called me real quick. I gotta answer this phone call. Let me give me 1 minute. I'm sorry.
Okay, cool. But yeah, man, if y'all want to know the history with me and Haven, Y'all could go and check out. Matter of fact, what I'll do is after the stream is over, I will put the previous chop ups me and him had on the channel so y'all could get to know who he is. You know, if y'all don't know who he is, man. Shout out to y'all that's tuned in on this Saturday night. Much love, man. Much love. Haven should be coming back in a minute. Y'all hit that like button, man. Y'all hit the like button. Y'all share the show. So what y'all got going on, man, for this Saturday night? Y'all still quarantining? I know the cases of COVID done picked up out here, man, in North Carolina. The numbers is going up by the day out here.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah,
I'm back,
got you,
bro.
bro.
I'm back. Somebody called me. I'm sorry, my fault.
No doubt, no doubt.
But yeah, bro, I've been chilling. I've been good. I've been doing what I do always. Exposing the fake, promoting the real. People getting mad at me, but nobody can ever say I lied or I was wrong about anything I ever said. So, I'm always good on that end.
Right, right. So how do you? So what has been the reaction to your content that you've been putting out? Because if people go back to the earlier shows that we did, you was talking about Joe Biden. You
Before
and before everybody, and you was letting everybody know, especially the pro-blacks. You was letting them know, like, listen, he is not that guy. He's not that guy. And now I'm seeing them repeating the same shit you said, what, like 6 months ago, damn near?
over a year ago. Because remember, we did a show before Joe Biden was even in the race. And I told people that what you doing right now, y'all gonna make them bring Joe Biden back out. Remember, nobody was saying his name or talking about him. I said, y'all keep doing what y'all doing right now. They're gonna bring Joe Biden back out, and he's not like these other candidates. He's gonna be aggressive with it. I didn't use those exact words, but something of that. I don't remember my exact phrase, but I told people he not, like you just said, he not that candidate. He not that candidate, and people seeing that they can't move him the way they move those other candidates, and in some respects, he's a lot like Trump, and what I was telling people was going to happen, because people swear things can't get worse, and it's like I'll be thinking that I'm not even talking to adults, because adults know things can always get worse, especially if you're looking around and seeing what's going on. And and the reaction to it has been the same as the reaction every time. I'm always right. No, everybody forget to give me props and stuff like that. People just act like they never was against me, and I never said what I said, and then they just go on to the next subject.
Yeah, I figured that, because and you're right, that was over a year ago, because I remember the first time you had came up and you had brought that shit up, and then the second time you came back, that's when you was debating Mercy L. And y'all was debating on, the whole presidential shit and all of that. So that's crazy you said that, people acting like you didn't even say that shit. Because I remember when you first brought this shit up, I remember when you first brought up how he's the one who created the crime bill and all that shit.
Yeah, the crazy part is I brought that up 4 years ago. Because remember, I was making videos about Joe Biden being responsible for the crime bill when he was still the vice president.
Mm-hmm.
Trump wasn't even elected yet. He was still the vice president.
Mm-hmm.
People walk right, like I said, they do what they always do. They gonna pretend like I never said anything. And these people be harassing me, hounding me all the time, saying I'm wrong, I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about. And then when what's going to happen, and it come true just like I said it was going to happen. No make believe, no flip flop. I gave it to you exactly how it was going to happen, and it happens. Nobody addresses that. They just move on to the next subject like I never said that.
So, in your opinion, who should people vote for then? Because I think people will pick anybody except Trump.
Yeah, but it's already decided now. It's going to be Joe Biden. So it's either going to be Joe Biden's going to be the president or Trump going to be the president, which is what I told people was going to happen if y'all keep playing games and keep trying to put impossible standards on all these other candidates. People going to look around, the powers that be going to look around and say, all right, Joe Biden can't win. I mean, these other candidates can't win because these people keep saying they ain't going to vote for him. So, all right, cool. Plan B. We're going to go try to get some of those white people back who voted for Trump, who voted for Obama the first time, but now they voted for Trump. Why did those people vote for Obama the first time? Because of Joe Biden. Joe Biden was picked purposely just so he can go into these states, these blue states, and convince the white people there that Barack Obama wasn't what Fox News said he was. And Joe Biden was like, y'all know me. Y'all know I would never roll with somebody like that. And people believe Joe Biden, and that's why they voted for Barack. So now they looked at it and said, we can't get the black vote the way that we got it for Barack the last time, but we can get back some of these white votes because people don't seem to realize Trump won by a nose. That Trump's margin of victory was the smallest margin of victory I ever seen for a presidential race. It probably is the smallest in history. It was less than 100,000 people that flipped 3 key states for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Less than 100,000. If you add up all 3 states, less than 100,000.
Yeah, that's real.
They can get those votes back. Joe Biden can bring those votes back. That's why I told people, I said, don't do this because people are putting good things on the table. We can get something, but if they bring Joe Biden back, that's something going to be very slim it's going to be very slim. It might even be nothing. I said, don't do this. Don't listen to these people because it's going to go down that road. And it went exactly down that road like I said it is. And now we here with Joe Biden and people are pretending like Trump is better than Joe Biden. And I'm like, y'all don't learn. Y'all don't learn.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And see, I mean, I think for the most part, a lot of people going vote for Joe Biden. I'm not going to vote at all.
Mm.
You know, I'm just not going to vote. But if I was to vote, honestly, I would vote for Trump. And I'll vote for Trump simply for the economic shit. It don't got nothing to do with nothing else. Because that's what I think Trump specializes in. Specializing in playing with that money and finance and shit like that. So other than that, that would be my only reason if I was to vote.
Yeah, but I don't even think that's really even a good reason to vote for Trump because he's not as good with it as he claims to be. He good for the rich. Yeah, he good for the rich. He good for them, but I don't see him doing good for the people because again, Trump is not as smart with the money as he been making people believe he was. Not at all, because if you look at the Trump economy when it was quote unquote doing good, that was Barack. Because remember, the economy don't stop because the president changed. Because when Barack Obama came into office, the economy was terrible, and people was blaming Barack because he was in office. But people failed to realize Barack came into office during the Great Recession, the worst economic collapse in American history, the second worst in American history, only to the Great Depression. But over time, it got better. And the opposite is happening with Trump. He came in the beginning, the economy was doing good. That was because of Barack, but now as over time it's gotten worse. And when you compile the coronavirus on it, which is his fault,
right?
Which is his fault. Which I said something like this was going to happen when I made the video because I made a bunch of videos about why people shouldn't let Trump win. One of the videos I made was about how things would happen that wasn't directly targeting black people, but it would hurt black people the most. And I used disease as one of them, because I used the Ebola virus as one of them, just as a placeholder. I said, listen, y'all remember under Obama, we had like 5 outbreaks. We had MERS, SARS, swine flu, Ebola, Zika. But Barack Obama handled all of them. I told people, I said, you can't, some outbreak gonna happen again, and we cannot trust Trump to handle it. He's stupid and he racist, because most of the outbreaks gonna happen overseas, and he's so racist, he'll be like, forget those people. And he's so stupid not realizing that those people, even though they overseas, they can hop on a plane and bring that shit right over here. And that's exactly what happened. Because remember, Barack set up a task force just to watch China, because everybody knows a bunch of new diseases keep coming out of China because of these wet markets. Trump got rid of it. If Barack Obama's task force was still in place, we wouldn't even be going through this right now. It would be the same thing like it was when SARS hit. Most people don't even remember when SARS hit, because it was just like a bump in the road. Like, hey, SARS is out. And then as soon as it was out, as fast as it was out, as fast as it was gone.
Right.
That would have been the same thing here. Remember, COVID-19 stands for coronavirus 19. This shit was discovered in 2019. It didn't get to America until 2020. It could have been, if that task force was allowed to do its job and wasn't gotten rid of by Trump, it would have been able to react fast enough that this wouldn't even have went this route.
I agree with that. That's true. That's facts. Because Barack definitely had things put up for pandemics and shit like that, and he was like, we don't need that.
Yeah, like a dummy. What makes you think we don't need people to be watching other countries for diseases? Like, we live in a globalized society where anybody can get on a plane and be anywhere in the world in less than 24 hours. In a society like, in a place like this, we need to be watching for diseases more than ever. Because look where we at now. We in a global pandemic because somebody didn't understand that diseases can travel.
Now, next question, bro. Because I know you've been, that whole ADOS community over there, they've been on your ass for a minute. They don't like you at all. So
that's good.
How do you where does the whole ADOS thing come into play with this election shit? Like, what they talking about now, basically?
They talking about the same thing. They tricking their followers who don't know anything about politics into thinking that they actually making a statement by telling them don't vote for the president, vote for everybody else, which is dumb, especially now when we got somebody like Trump in office. Like, this is the problem with people. If you don't know nothing about a subject, you can't listen to one person and think you're going to learn everything you need to know from them and then take their word as gospel. You can't do that. You're going to at least have to go to other people and use a critical and compare and contrast what they're saying and do your own. I don't like this phrase, do your own research, but you're going to have to do your own research, because like I said before, always, anybody who knows anything about politics, left, right, and center, moderate, conservative, liberal, Democrat, Republican, independent, can tell you that shit they promoting is dumb and it doesn't make any sense. This is an embarrassment on black people. Just like Claude Anderson with that Africa town in Detroit, he embarrassed black people. He embarrassed black people. They don't even understand like the stuff they don't even understand basic politics. It's like, even with the reparations, like I always made the point to people, you do not worry about asking a president to give you reparations. Because when I always make this point, when people talk about how other people got reparations, I always say this, and nobody answers it because they know I'm right, or they too stupid to answer it. I say, name one group who ever asked the president to co-sign reparations for them. They can't name them because it never happened. It never happened. People get their reparations by going through the legislature, and there was a president that was sympathetic to their cause in office. people understand that certain topics is a no-win, like gay marriage. Remember, how did Bush win his second term? He basically turned the election into a referendum on gay marriage, saying if you let John Kerry win, they're going to legalize gay marriage. But if you vote for me, I'm not going. I'm going to outlaw it. People came out and voted for Bush just off that strength. And what happened next election? When people asked the Democrats, well, are they for gay marriage? We know that they was for gay marriage, but they had to say they wasn't because they knew if they said they was, what was going to happen? They was going to lose, and people were going to use that against them. And we all seen what happened, how things went with the gay marriage thing. Did they go through the president to get it? No, they didn't. But Obama was on board for it, nonetheless. And they knew that.
Right, right. So that's that. Yeah, that's interesting. Now they telling people not to vote. So, I mean,
they telling people to go vote, but vote Democrat, but don't vote for the president. So vote for everybody else on the ballot, but except for the president, which does the same thing. Telling people not to vote, telling people to vote for Trump, and telling people to vote for everybody but the presidency, all leads to the same thing: Trump winning. It's like it's basically a way to tell people who don't know anything, trick people who don't know anything about politics into supporting Trump.
Right. It's I see what you're saying. It's kind of like people were saying that with Obama. Like if you don't vote, it's like you voting for Trump. I see what you're saying. So basically, who you gonna vote for if out of Biden and Trump, out of the who you think is the lesser evil?
I would go with Biden. I would have to go with Biden because we gotta because again, Biden is a Democrat. And let's just put it this simple way. When it comes to these courts, he's gonna appoint judges who are more sympathetic on our side because the judges, the judicial branch is becoming more important than ever. And it's basically everybody playing teams. Nobody is basically ruling like a judge is supposed to. It's like, hey, I'm a Democrat, I'm gonna rule with the Democrats. We can't have any more people, Trump appointing any more people on that bench, man. On no benches. That just the judges system alone, Trump cannot win. Just for the judges.
Right.
Just on that alone. And again, it shouldn't even have been Biden, but it is him because people thought it can't get no worse, and now we seeing the worst. You see, like what Biden did to Charlemagne, and was getting crazy with him on that interview. You ain't never see a politician get crazy with somebody during that interview, which is what I said Biden was gonna do. I said he
was violating Charlemagne.
I said he's never gonna talk to black people, and when he do, he gonna flip the subject to something else, like he did during the debate when somebody asked him about reparations. He started talking about Latinos as the future, and if you don't like it, get over it. And then when he did the interview with Charlemagne, he got crazy with Charlemagne. You ain't never seen no interview get conducted like that with a presidential nominee.
Yeah,
exactly like I said was gonna happen. And now you put people in an awkward spot where it's like, we don't want to go with this dude, but it's better than Trump. Because our rights is on the line. We can't have Trump get another term, because if Trump get another term, he's going to end up appointing damn near half the federal judges, and he's going to get another Supreme Court pick, making it 6-3. People don't understand how important it is for people to keep that Supreme Court and those courts out of Republican hands. The courts have done so much damage to black people. The courts are the ones who brought in Jim Crow with the separate but equal ruling.
So
the court, yeah.
But we've had a lot of Democrat presidents for a long time, bro. And how has that actually helped us though?
It has helped us because one, it keeps people out of office who want to take all our rights away. Because it's better to have somebody do nothing for you than have somebody who's going to hurt you. Zero is better than a negative. And they have done stuff for us. We have multiple rights that we didn't have before. Like people understand we live better now than people lived 50 years ago, and that's because of the Democrats. that we have more rights, more privileges now than we ever did before. And the people protecting those rights and privileges against the Republicans are Democrats. It's the liberal judges that got appointed by Democrats who are the ones who are shooting down all this other stuff. Because people bring cases all the time trying to do what they did before and basically legalize segregation again through the courts. And it's the courts that with the judges that were appointed by Democrats who are shutting that down. It is people filing lawsuits. That's helping us. It's affirmative action. It's the post office. Remember, most black people work for the government. Why do most black people work for the government? Because you have racists who don't want to hire black people. That's just a known fact that black people don't have their own businesses, and a lot of other businesses don't want to hire black people. So it's only but so many people the government can force them to hire black, and then after that, the government picks up the slack. It's the Republicans who are attacking that. Trump right now is attacking the post office hard. The post office is the biggest employer of black people in the country. That's the reason why Republicans are always trying to destroy the post office. That's another reason why they also always trying to talk that small government and privatization, because they know that's more jobs out of the hands of black people and more jobs in the hands of other people.
So what you're saying is the Democratic Party has always been in the favor for blacks.
Yeah. And again, I'm not saying the Democrats are perfect, and I never said that they didn't do things that hurt blacks, but we got to keep things in perspective. You have one party who you have no say-so over, who don't care about you, who has a monopoly on the racist vote because they actively seek out the racist vote with the Southern strategy. We don't need them in power, because people keep getting too complacent, thinking that they can't wake up one morning and then look at their phone and realize that, damn, we done lost our rights again. We done went back to Jim Crow. We done lost this. We done lost that. That's still a reality for black people. Those old white people, they ain't dead. Remember, Trump is like, how old is Trump? Trump is damn near 80. That means he was damn near 30 years old when the civil rights legislation was passed 50 years ago. He was a grown man who grew up in an environment where they was being taught that blacks was inferior. And he's surrounding himself with old white people just like him in their 70s, in their 80s. We don't need that, because they will use the power of the government to bring that back. So
being that we already established that Joe Biden don't give a fuck about us, what do you think he's actually gonna employ to help us directly? I heard what you said the first time, but like, what do you think as far as like policies and stuff like that? What do you think he's gonna put into effect if he win the election?
He might build on Obamacare. That'll help black people. He might even bring back the LIFT Act if it's possible. He'll support that, which is going to help black people. That's thousands of dollars in the pockets of black people. 60% of the people who we even be eligible for help under the LIFT Act is black. Just like Obamacare gave 10 million plus black people health care who never had it before. And it's much to be desired with that, and it can be expanded, and he might expand that. And he with some other things that he said on his website that I read, but it's like I don't really remember them off the top of my head, and I don't know if all that is possible to even be implemented. But again, just those things alone, just if he can stop the attacks on the post office, if he can start hiring people again with the federal government, that's a good start, because we already behind the 8 ball by even allowing Trump to even get these 4 years. This is why I tell people again, elections have consequences. We was building. Then you let him come in and tear it all down. Now we got to retrace those steps again.
Mm.
and people make it harder and harder and harder. And it's people who don't know anything about politics. That's what's be killing me. It's one thing when I see the agents doing it, or people who are Republicans, black people who are Republicans do it, but to see these people who swear they so smart, swear they care about black people doing it, and they don't, and they so stupid they don't even realize what they're doing, and everybody's laughing at them. It's embarrassing to me. Because it embarrasses black people as a whole. It's like, see, we told you these niggas are stupid.
So you don't believe that the Democrats and the Republicans are basically the same, working for the same cause, but basically like what most people say.
Two wings of the same bird?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No. In fact, on some issues, they are. Like a lot of times at the federal level, the Democrats and the Republicans are both corporate. So they're always gonna look out for the corporations. It's just that the Democrats will look out for the regular people a little bit more. But they gonna always make sure the corporations get theirs. Like if a Democrat was in charge and we did this and we did the money, the COVID relief money, the average person would have got more. But the corporations still would have got a big chunk of that off rip, just like when Obama did the stimulus. People ate off that, but the corporations ate off that. So in that sense, yeah. But on social issues which affect us the most, no, they are not the same. They are diametrically opposed. They are not the same at all. That's really where you get the difference between Republicans and Democrats anyway, when it comes to social issues at the federal level. And how to go about waging war, because the Democrats going to wage war just like the Republicans, but the difference is the Democrats going to do it more in the way Obama did Libya, while the Republicans going to do it more in the way Bush did Iraq. But otherwise than that, yeah.
People going in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I don't know if you read the chat, Haven.
I'm not. I had to get on my phone so I could walk away, so I could be in the back while my kids in the front playing. But I ain't seen what they saying in the chat. What they saying?
Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, man. Hit the like button. Shout out to my man Ken Dog. He said, "Don't vote to maintain the status quo with the Democrats. They want you stuck. They want you stuck on the government tit for generations in perpetuity." What you think about that?
That's not true. In fact, this mentality is what would even lead to that. Because if you notice, black people for the first time ever was in the driver's seat of who gets to be president, who doesn't. Again, and was a bunch of you pro-blacks who squandered that. Remember, black people was in the driver's seat. Black people could have single-handedly picked a candidate and everybody would have fell in line behind it. Most people don't want Joe Biden, but because they saw how black people was rolling with him, they had to roll with him. Because remember, when you're picking a president in the primaries, the black vote is there. It's either you get the black vote or you don't. And if you get it, you win. If you don't, you lose. Black people was in the driver's seat. We was the ones that people was looking to carry it. And when you in the driver's seat and people looking to you to carry it, you can do anything at that point. Black people could have raised up a candidate on their own and just voted for them, and then everybody would have had to roll with the rush and fall in behind them. That was us. We was there, and people again squandered it, talking stupid about reparations. We finally was getting politicians to come. Like, again, think about this election cycle. You never seen politicians reach out to try to talk to black people this much ever. You never seen politicians put this much on the table for black people ever. Have you? I never seen it. You never seen politicians try to cater to black people as much as they was doing this Democratic primary season. And what did people do? They squandered it. And guess what? Somebody who didn't try to cater to you at all got the nomination. Because people looked around and said, hey, if they're going to do this, we got to go find somebody else who's willing to push the truck. And nobody can't refute that. Nobody has ever seen politicians reach out to black people like they was doing this election cycle. And they was putting good deals on the table, good stuff on the table that any other group would have took in a heartbeat. And what happened? People talking about no, we not gonna vote, this, and that. And then what happened? They said, like I said that was gonna happen. Oh, y'all not gonna vote? We can't win with y'all? Cool, we're gonna have to find somebody else. There's a million groups waiting in the wing to be in the position that black people was in this election cycle. And people squandered it.
Well, what do you say about the people who say that all the Democrat Party do is pander to the black church? Like that's how they go and get their vote.
The reason they do that is because the black church actually goes out and vote. Remember, to a politician, the only people who matter are the people who vote. If you can't vote, you don't matter. Simple as that. Like I don't have to, like Trump can talk crazy about Latinos. Why? Because the majority of Latinos can't vote. They're not here legally. That's why when people was polling Latinos saying, oh, Trump gonna lose, all these Latinos going against them, everybody forgot to ask, are you even here legally? And the answer is no. So they can't even vote. That's why they pander to the church. Remember, the reason they started going to the Breakfast Club and talking to rappers and doing all this other stuff is because they was trying to reach out to the youth. But again, when people trying to reach out to the youth, what do people do? Because they don't understand politics. They don't know how politics work. They squandered it. They started talking to them about reparations. They started putting all kind of crazy demands out. They wasn't organized, because when people say, hey, what do you want? You get 5 people saying 7 different things. That's not how you conduct politics. But the church is on deck. They know they can rely on the church. They know the church is going to say what they want, and they can get the church what they want, and that's it. There's leadership there. There's organization there. There's order there. There ain't no order among young people. Like, where's the order? They say, hey, how can we reach out to y'all? Well, let's go to Charlemagne. Charlemagne don't know what he's doing. He don't know what he's talking about. And then when they go to try to go to youth meetings and stuff like that, what do people say? They start talking about reparations, this, and then people say, what do you want for reparations? Everybody got a different number. This one saying 10 trillion, this one saying 20 trillion, this one saying 100 trillion. This one saying he want money, gold, land. That's not how you conduct nothing.
So let me ask you something, bro, because a little while ago, you said out of the necessary evils, you'll pick Biden. What is Biden actually offering black people?
Again, I actually didn't really. I forgot. Like I said, I don't really remember what his reach out. I think it's called reach out or whatever it's called. I read it, but I don't really remember it off the top of my head. But again, like I said, like he's it's better than what we're getting with Trump. I really don't. I wish I could get to my computer so I could just read it. But everybody knows it's like the uplift thingy, uplift, uprise, whatever it's called. It's offering more small business loans. He's offering more small business loans. What else is he offering? I don't remember it off top of my head, but it's something, and it's better than nothing. It's a little something, but again, we could have had more than that. But people squandered it, and I say we, even though I was telling people not to do that. That's just how it went. That's just how it went. And again, in life, you got to put things on a scale. It's not just what this guy's gonna do. You got to look at it and what the other guy's got to do. You got to put them both on the scale and see which one is worse. It's just like when I gave the example about the Civil War. What did the North believe about black? What did the South believe about black people that the North did? Both sides believe black people was inferior to whites. Even most abolitionists believe that. Abraham Lincoln said, if it's up to me, blacks always gonna have to follow behind whites. But who did black people roll with? They rolled with the North because they put it on the scale. Yeah, y'all believe the same thing, but the South believe it a lot more harsh with it. And on top of that, the South got slavery. And we got a chance if we roll with the North to get rid of slavery. Sometimes that's how life is. Just like I'm gonna take it out of black people. I'm gonna take it to World War II. People had to choose between either they're gonna roll with Stalin or they're gonna roll with Hitler. They go on the war, one of them gonna win. Who we gonna back? people put it on the scale and say, you know what? We don't. Stalin's a dictator. He's a bad guy. He killed millions of people. Whatever, whatever, whatever. But we got to get rid of those Nazis. The Nazis are worse. People couldn't just throw their hands up and say, well, Joseph Stalin is so bad. What is he? Is he offering to reform? What is he going to do for us? I don't see the positive. I don't see the positive in rolling with Stalin. So I'm just going to step back and then do what? Let Hitler win, who's 1,000 times worse than Stalin? Sometimes you get put in a crazy position like this. And this is why, again, why I was telling people to stop doing what they're doing, because I got to keep repeating this, because I knew this was going to happen. It would have, if people would have stopped doing this, it would have been much easier to make a case to vote for the Democratic nominee. If people would have literally got organized and said, listen, we putting some things out there. We want this, and that. Things that are realistic, things that we can get the person to do here in the here and nows. In the here and now, when they first term in office, so we don't have to get no excuses from them. Lay that out. Could have got somebody to co-sign it, because somebody would have did it and voted for them, and they would have been the nominee, and it would have been way easier to make the case for them. But because people play games, now we in a Hitler-Stalin situation.
Hasn't that always been the case though? When you think about it, because we had the choice between Hillary and Barack.
Yeah, but we had to choose between Hillary and Barack, but people chose Barack because they wanted to see a black president, and they felt Barack was better for the people.
Yes.
So we always have to choose. Like, remember, we in America, it's gonna either the president's gonna be a Democrat or gonna be a Republican. There ain't no other way around that. So we're gonna have to choose, and we got to do our best to make sure it's somebody we want who get that nomination. Because what is the nomination what is the primary? Primary is basically a civil war between the party and the different interest groups trying to get their candidate to win, who's gonna do the most for them. And then what happened? Whoever gets the nominee, everybody go get behind the nominee, because even though they got it and win, they know they can still get a little something with this person in there. That's what it all come down to. Everybody's trying to get their. That's what primaries are. And again,
shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button.
Wait, give me 1 minute. Something's stuck in my daughter's teeth.
No doubt, bro. Yeah, y'all hit the like button, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. Hit the like button, y'all. CashApp $SHEEPSTAYSLEEPTV is where y'all could donate if y'all enjoying the conversation, man. Biden is trash, but he's better than Trump. That's what I'm saying. That's why I just asked Haven that, because it's always going to be that way. Every candidate going to have his faults. Every candidate is going to, be in favor or push some shit that people not going to like. So it's always going to be the lesser evil. That's going to always be the case. All Trump did was cut taxes for the rich. That's all he did. And yet, you're not a Democrat either. See, that's.
I'm back. I didn't hear all the stuff you said, but I heard somebody say, we're not a Democrat either. I want to address that real quick. Black people are not Democrats.
I was reading Vosi Thoughts comment in the chat room, because Vosi Thoughts was basically agreeing with you. They were saying that Biden is trash, but he's better than Trump.
Yeah.
And I was saying it's always been like that though, because you always gonna have to pick the lesser evil at the end of it. It's always gonna be that way, because even Democrats is going to do some shit that the people not gonna like. But at the end of the day, it's how much, like you said, it's how much fuck shit we could take. because on the other side it may be more. But that's politics though. That's politics, man. That's the complexity of it. That's why I really don't fuck with it, man, because it's always gonna be that way.
Yeah, it's especially in American politics, because American politics is set up to get the medium candidate, not the perfect candidate, the medium candidate.
Yes.
It's always set up like that. That's why I be laughing at people when they say, "Well, I don't like the way this is working." I'm like, "Tell them, where have you been? What country you think you've been living in?" That, like I know, that's why I know who's all these people who making all these arguments now. They knew the politics. Like you ain't really been following politics, because this wouldn't be a shocking moment to you. This wouldn't be like a shocking revelation to you. You would have already knew that.
Ken Dog, appreciate you, bro. He say black men need to vote their interests. Vote to protect your money and your right to bear arms. Biden is a threat to both. I'm gonna put that on the screen so Haven can address that. But I definitely agree with that, Ken Dog. I agree with that. Peace, City. You see the could you see the screen?
Yeah, I see it. There's more things to be considered than just that, and Biden is not really a threat. It's not a threat to the Second Amendment. He already let that be known. But Biden is from Pennsylvania. He's not getting rid of the Second Amendment. That's not. Nobody's gonna lose that right to bear arms. That's not gonna happen. That's never gonna happen. We always talk. We always go through this where people are gonna take the guns. Nobody's taking the guns. And if you care about your money, you wouldn't be dealing with Trump, because Trump is putting everybody's money in jeopardy, making everybody money funny right now with this, even with this coronavirus thing and his response to it. He doesn't want to do the relief bills. He's given basically all the money to big corporations who don't need the money. His tax cuts is messing up the country, because he's giving rich all these tax cuts, which is going to be an effective tax raise. Meaning taxes are going to get raised on everybody else, because when you start cutting taxes like this and you're spending more, that money got to come from somewhere. And them states, governments, some local governments, they got to make up that money somehow, some way, and they'll raise the taxes on you. That's what people gotta really look at. It's like it's in our interest. It's in our interest to not let Trump keep winning. But this is why I said so much when I was trying to go so hard with the primaries, because these are primary discussions. This is not a general election discussion. These are discussions you're supposed to have in the primary, when you get to pick and choose candidates, when you yourself can raise up a candidate amongst you and run for office. This is not a conversation you're supposed to have when it's already picked, when it's already decided. This is why I was trying to get people to have this conversation. Even if you don't agree with me, have the conversation, because you know me, I never shy away from people disagreeing with me. I don't block people. I don't curse people out for disagreeing with me. Only way I curse you out if you curse me out. But it's like, otherwise than that, I'm respectful, you respectful. We don't have to agree on everything. You know my channel. I let people say what they gotta say. If somebody want me to respond to something, I do my best to read all the comments and respond to as many people as I can. I never ask nobody to agree with me. I just ask people to just keep an open mind and just let's talk as adults. That's it. And that's why I was trying to get people, because a lot of this conversation we having now, this is primary conversation. This is conversation when we still got a chance to pick whether to say, well, we don't like that candidate. We don't want this one. Let's try to get behind this one. Let's see if we can lean on this one a little bit more to give us a little bit more. Because once it's the general election, now it's time for everybody to just close ranks, and it is what it is at that point.
So why do you think? No, let me rephrase that. What do you think is the problem with the black community, quote unquote black community? Because I don't believe there is one, but that's another conversation. But what do you think is the problem with the people in the black community with raising up a politician from the grassroots level? Something that we used to do. Why do you think it's so hard for us to do that now? Because that's basically what you're saying. You're saying that what we need to do, if we want a politician to be solely in our interest, then we need to cultivate our own candidates and financially back them and support them. And I understand that, but why do you think that hasn't been done in so long?
The reason, several reasons. But I want to shout out Ken Dahl for the donation and for him asking questions. Again, like I said, I like when people ask questions. You don't got to agree with me. I just say how I feel. I hope I convinced you. If I didn't, it's still all love. We adults. I don't hate nobody. I respect everybody's decision to do what they do. Only people I get mad at is people who swear they're the smartest person in the world. They know everything and they completely wrong. And you can prove it empirically. But I'm gonna deal with it like this. Two reasons. One, because things have gotten so much better for Black people that a lot of people, Black people, just don't care anymore. This is an issue that happened at the end of the Civil Rights Movement. And Martin Luther King was talking about going to Washington to get that check, which wasn't a reparations speech. That was basically like a Black New Deal speech, where it's like, hey, you're going to give us money. The same way y'all use money to build up white communities, you're going to give us money. That's what that speech was. It wasn't a reparations speech. But anyway, do you know that I think it was 50% of Black people didn't support him? That's how the Civil Rights Movement fell apart. When Martin Luther King switched from social issues and political issues to economic issues, Black people just stopped dealing with them. It was like, well, we made it. We got the Civil Rights Bill. We got the Voting Rights Act. We got the Naturalization and Immigration Act. We're like, we made it, baby. Like, it's over. We won. What's all this? Still, we got work to do. We going to get a check. I don't know nothing about that. And that's what it is. Like, a lot of people just got too comfortable. Two, we can't have adult conversations because you can't disagree to somebody without people trying to call you names, people threatening to fight you, and all this other goofy stuff. We got too many people swearing up and down that they geniuses and they don't know what they're talking about. That's why we can't do it. And people can't understand basic issues, because I've been telling people to do that. I was telling people to do that even before Barack was even out of office. I was explaining to people how this could possibly be done. And the crazy part is it got done. By who? The Latino community with AOC. AOC didn't have no bread. She was a regular person. She was going against the third highest ranked Democrat in the country, trying to take his seat as an unknown. And guess what? She organized with her Latino people, went in the community, talked to people, tell them like, listen, this white dude who's representing y'all don't know who he is. Y'all never seen him. He ain't fighting for y'all. Roll with me, trust in me, and come out and vote for me. And I'm going to make it do what it do for you. And guess what? She beat him in the primary and beat him again in the general election when he tried to run third party. How did she do that? She did that because she organized amongst her people. She went in the community, she talked to people, people talked to her, they stayed true. She did so much organizing in the community that she won 2 congressional seats. One she wasn't even running for. People went out and went to vote and didn't see her name on the ballot, and they wrote her name in, and she won that one. She won two seats. Why? Because she organized amongst her people and went in the community. That's why people be talking about this money in politics. It's like, listen, money only helps you, only guarantees your win when it's like the playing field's kind of even, and then the person with the most money gonna win. But we all know that somebody like Trump could never be the president. The mayor of LA, because them Mexicans ain't gonna vote for him. Period. No matter how much money he sink into the election. Just like Bloomberg sunk like how many billions of dollars into this election, and nobody voted for him. Nobody. Like, this is stuff we can do. I explain this to people multiple times. Like, listen, you can hold these local and state candidates, even the federal ones. You can hold them accountable. It don't even take much people. You just need to organize amongst yourself. Find somebody who y'all feel is the best for y'all. I used to even tell people back in the days, like, look, if y'all really feel these conscious community YouTubers are really this great for the community and all that, how about y'all ask one of them to run for office and y'all go vote them in and let them talk they talk on the floor of the U.S. on the floor of Congress. Because nobody can't tell them to shut up and nobody can deny them to talk. AOC talk her shit every day. When she get on the news gotta cover it. The reason we all know what the Green New Deal is, why? Because she pushing it and everybody got to cover it. What's stopping somebody from raising up one of you pro-blacks to go get into office and you can talk about what you want to do for black people this, black people that, and the news has to cover it. It becomes a national conversation and you can introduce legislation. You don't gotta wait for nobody else to do it. You don't gotta ask somebody what they're gonna do for me. You could come up with your own agenda and do it for yourself.
Okay. Okay. I had to ask that question because
That's an important question because I'll be thinking and again the reason is it's the same reason on YouTube. The reason why you can't even cultivate a black community on YouTube that everybody can benefit from because everybody be acting because too many people be acting like bitches. They be acting emotional. They want to flag people. They want to try to dox people who never doxed them. You tell them they wrong about something. Now they hate you and they want to destroy your life. They want to try to find out where you work at, to call your job. They want to try to call ACS to get your kids taken. All this goofy stuff because somebody disagreed with you. You can't raise up a politician if y'all ready to go to World War III with each other over the slightest disagreement.
that's a fact. That's a fact, and I'm glad you brought that up because I know when you have time and you catch my content, you know that's the type of shit I speak on, man. About how we gotta fix them type of little personal issues that we have in each other, man, amongst each other, because that's a fact. Because that's and when you because I did a stream like a year and a half ago called "There Is No Black Community," where I broke down the essential characteristics that make up a community, and we don't fall under a lot of those categories, bro.
And
And
again, because people being too emotional. Like I said, like it's an emotional thing when you got and not only do the people who are the de facto leaders or set themselves up as leaders, it's the people's fault by not checking that. The people supposed to check that. The same way people if you're gonna be involved, be involved. If you're gonna be active, be active. You know who wants some bullshit, you know who wants some real shit. Y'all supposed to exclude cut out the cancer and let everybody else keep going. Stop, because a lot of people be thinking this is just fun for them. So they want to keep the drama going. They're not interested in building anything. They just here to have a good time. Or people be acting like they stupid. That's why I be telling you, like, y'all be acting like y'all the stupidest people who ever walked the face of the earth because y'all be acting like y'all don't understand that this person is a fraud. This person is lying to you. This person don't know what they talking about. This person is keeping stirring the pot, keeping bullshit going. Y'all act like y'all don't understand that. Y'all don't know that. And then you wonder why you can't get nothing done.
shout out to PM. Shout out to Brother Rob. Let me go back and read Brother Rob. First, PM says, thanks for giving a different opinion. We support your channel. Thanks for sharing. Much love and respect, sir. I appreciate that, PM. Let me go back and read Brother Rob comment. I ain't forget about you, Brother Rob. Brother Rob say, politics is the business of our tax revenue. I appreciate the political thought and discussion. Complex problems need complex thought and solutions. I agree.
Shout out to Brother Rob. Shout out to the sister who made the other donation too. I agree with both of them. It's like, again, like you see me, like when Mercy L was in the chat room and he said he didn't agree with me. Did I call him names? I did call him names because I know him personally, and he was already on some goofy stuff. But I didn't back down from the debate with him. I stood tall. I said what I had to say. I let him say what he had to say. We kept it respectful, and we let the people decide. I have no problem with people voicing themselves because people talking is how we get to the best solution. I don't know everything. You don't know everything. Nobody know everything. But if we come together and we use logic and reason, and we respect each other's opinion and where we coming from, we gonna get to the best solution. It's just that simple.
Okay. I got another question, and I see some people put it in the chat right when I wanted to ask which party is in favor for men's rights? Which party?
That's kind of a hard question to answer. Which party is in favor for men's rights? That one, that's kind of hard. It's kind of hard because I can tell you what part. Dad, I can't even tell you because it's like no party really. If you really think about it,
Mm,
like the Republicans ain't pushing for no to end the divorce laws and where women end up with kids 90-something% of the time, and men gotta pay alimony to a woman that divorced them for like 20 years, even though she went off and done had a different relationship and all this other stuff. The Republicans ain't pushing for an end to these pushing to make like prenups ironclad, because most people don't notice a prenup is not ironclad. A judge can throw away a prenup. She could have signed a woman can sign a prenup with you and then divorce you and then still take you to court for some money and get something, even though she signed the prenup not to, because she'll have the judge on her side. That's why that's why all the time you constantly hearing about judges sleeping with women. It be them divorce judges because they got that kind of power. Nobody's pushing to get those judges out of here. Nobody's pushing to rein that in. Nobody.
so you don't are you in favor for men's rights?
Yeah, I'm in favor for men's rights, but
Okay.
we gotta be but I'm in favor for what I just said, because different people got different opinions on what's men's rights and what's not men's right. But I'm in
Right.
favor of what I said about these divorce courts, because they be ruining people's lives. I don't agree with a woman could marry you and then divorce you and then take you to court and say you got to still keep paying her to afford her the lifestyle she was with you when she was with you. If you decide to leave me, then you decide to leave the lifestyle too. Because how am I gonna? Because now I can't provide the new girl I'm with the lifestyle because I'm providing you with the lifestyle. That's messing up my life.
Right.
Like I
So
see
you
people.
don't think, but you don't think that the you don't think that a lot of pro-black feminists and other feminist women, a lot of them are Democrats?
Yeah, a lot of them are Democrats, but a lot of times they Democrats because of abortion, and I don't agree with abortion. But that's the reason, because when you ask them what is women's rights, the number one thing they bring up to you is free condoms, free birth
Pro-choice.
controls, and
Pro-choice.
being able to get an abortion. And the crazy part is most women's rights activists don't actually speak for women. This is why they were so surprised and shocked and chagrined when women came out and voted for Trump. Because they thought they was going to come out and vote for Hillary just because she said she pro-choice and Trump is a misogynist. Like Trump is toxic. I ain't gonna hold you. He toxic. Once you talking about
you said that nigga toxic. You gotta explain that, bro.
once you start talking about grabbing women by the pussy, you just go up to them. You don't even ask. You just grab them by the pussy. You toxic, man. That's real toxic. That's the toxic. When I hear toxic, when I hear somebody say somebody is toxic, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about, well, somebody said something that, oh, women can't do this because they're not strong enough, or somebody was flirting with a woman. I don't see that. When you start sexually assaulting women, that's when I think about toxic. That's what I think about. But the crazy part is, I'm happy you brought that up. There is no real men's rights movement to make a party wanna pick up that vote. See, like for example, politicians push issues based on a voting block. It's like, you know how Christians became so powerful with a voting block in America? Because they all united under the label Christian. Because remember, in America, nobody called themselves a Christian back in the day. Everybody called themselves a Baptist, a Methodist, a Catholic. But they realized, they said, damn, we can, it's a lot of us, and we all just call ourselves Christians and go to politicians and say what we want and say, hey, you can get, if you do our bidding, you can get this Christian vote. That's how you make a party, pick and choose whether that vote is worth it for them. I never seen a men's rights movement actually get political. Like I said this before, like a lot of the men's rights movement stuff is just a bunch of dudes online talking to each other. I never seen them actually try to run for office or actually step to a politician and say, hey, what are you going to do about men's rights? When have you ever seen it? That's why I can't answer the question about which party is better for men's rights, because when the last time you ever seen somebody go up to a politician and say, hey, are you in favor of men's rights? Have you ever heard it? I never heard it.
I mean, nah, I haven't, but I would say this though. I would have to say that a lot of the conversations that was being had, and this is a segue into my next question too, because I wanted to ask you about this. But a lot of the questions, I mean, a lot of the conversations that was being had in the manosphere, and a lot of the conversations that was being had, in in opposition to the conversation that the brothers was having, definitely hit mainstream media. This whole toxic masculinity shit, a lot of that shit started right here. A lot of these, your Cynthia G's and all of them, they the ones who started pushing that shit, and they was talking about the black men in the black manosphere. They was talking about the men that was online that was pushing this type of stuff. So it definitely a lot of shit that we talk about definitely hit mainstream, but as far as people taking it to a next level, nah, that hasn't happened yet. But
Yeah, that's what people got to do. I'll give ADOS this credit. They actually went out to politicians and say, "Hey, we ADOS. This is what we care about. Are you on board or not?" Like that's the next step. That's what I got to give them that credit. I never seen. That's why I can't answer the question about which politicians are in favor of men's rights, which ones are not, which party is and which party's not, because nobody ever put it on the table for the politicians. See, every other groups do it. You know which politicians is for guns and which is against guns, because you got people who are pro Second Amendment. Go to politicians and ask them where they stand on it. Same thing with abortion, same thing with gay rights, same thing with immigration. You got people who are having the conversations among themselves, and then after they stop having the and then they decided to take it to that next level and go ask politicians like, "Hey, what's up? I represent such and such. This is men's rights. Are you for men's rights? Oh, you don't know what men's rights are? Let me tell you what men's rights are. Men's rights are A, B, C, D. Are you in favor of that? Are you in favor of some of it? How much are you in favor of it?" Like, make people go on record. I never seen nobody do that, white or black. I never seen no men's rights movement actually get offline and bring it to a politician. Bring it to a politician.
I mean, I think what really needs to happen is I think we actually need more men. There's a lot of there's a lot of men that are opposed to men's rights because it excludes women. And a lot of guys can't do shit unless women are involved. So I think the issue is we need more men that's gonna advocate for it too. We
Yeah,
need more men that's willing to advocate, um even online and offline. We do need more of it offline, but online is good too because social activism is a powerful thing, man. Social media be winning a lot of shit now, man. It be getting a
no,
lot of things out there. So social activism is good, but I do agree we do need some people that's gonna get out there and do certain things, man. But we need more of a concerted effort from black men, man. It's a lot of black men that are opposed to it, you know.
yeah, no, I never. Let me make my understanding understood. I never said anything about wrong about people being online. Online is a very important part of the game. Online gave people a voice that people never had before social media. But it can't be the end all be all. That's what I'm saying.
Right,
Like,
right.
somebody has to take that next step, and it's important to take that next step because that's how you get more exposure, and that brings people on deck. Because there's a lot of people who feel pro men's rights and whatever the case may be, but never heard of a lot of these groups, like these men's rights groups, or what the manosphere used to be. Because that new shit, this other shit that they doing now, I ain't with all this tricking or bread and arguing amongst each other and pretending to be living like another lifestyle. I ain't with all that. But as far as I'm just talking strictly just men's rights, Somebody needs to take it off the internet and go ask these politicians, because that's how you get more visibility. Like, you would have never had a New York Times write an article about ADOS if they wasn't actually talking to politicians. Because when you talk to a politician, that's another level with it. When you make a politician answer your question, whether they're for you or against you, that gives you exposure on another level. That opens you up to the mainstream media, getting your message out to the mainstream. So yeah, that's the only thing I got to say about that. Like, I cannot, the person who asked that question, I'm sorry, I cannot answer the question because I haven't seen enough activism for men's rights groups to even know which candidates are for it or against it.
Gotcha. Tory Nick asks, so what is it that you want from this election?
All I want is for what's best for Black people, and to me, that's just Biden winning. Again, I didn't even want Biden. I know this hurts a lot of people that they even have to vote for Biden, because Biden's record is terrible on Black people. I'm not even going to hold you. I tell people, I'm like, listen, it's not as terrible as the Republicans, but it's up there. And this is, again, going back to the point, I got to keep making this point. This is why I want what's best for Black people. And it's Trump getting out of office. That's why I'm giving Biden support, but that's what I really want. I don't want to see an environment, because we already dealing with COVID. So a lot of Black people done lost a lot of wealth. Done lost a lot of Black businesses done shut down. Money, and I'm pretty sure if a Democrat was in office, some money would have, again, like I told you, Democrats at the federal level, they're going to make sure the corporations eat just like the Republicans do. But the Democrats will also make sure the regular people eat. I wanted to make sure that some of these Black businesses could get back open again. I want to make sure that Black people can keep their jobs. I want people to expand civil rights for Black people and protect them. That's what I want. I don't want to see an environment where Trump presidency is affecting Black people 40 years from now. But most of the people, us listening to this, gonna be old or even dead, and Trump's presidency is still hurting the Black community. Because that's what I'm really concerned about is the judges. Because like when I made the video about T West, about the Federalist Society, it was in the 70s where where a bunch of racists got together and realized that it was only a matter of time before the white population shrunk so much that Black people would actually get into positions where they couldn't get racist politicians elected anymore, and Black people could get politicians that they wanted elected and be able to actually do more and more stuff for Black people. So their way to combat that was, we're going to take over the judicial branch of the federal government, and we're going to rule that way. We're going to throw roadblocks that way. And Trump remaining in office is going to set that plan up perfectly. So that's why I don't want, that's the number one reason why I'm like, Trump cannot be here. And just with even the COVID thing, we don't know if another outbreak is going to happen and how he's going to handle it this time. He's not even handling it right this time. So excuse me, about next time. Because like I said earlier, under Obama, we had like 5 outbreaks. We had Zika, we had swine flu, we had MERS, we had SARS, and we had Ebola. Who knows what's going to break out next under Trump and how he's going to handle it?
Shout out to Ken Dog again. He say, what about voting Democrats as presidents and voting Republicans in Congress and Senate, or vice versa?
I recommend just voting straight for Democrats, unless this is a really, really bad Democrat, and that's where the primaries come in, so you could get them out of there. So it's just like everybody rolls with the rush. It's about team now. It's about team. So if a Democratic president say, hey, I want this to happen, and then people in the House of Representatives put it forward, then you guaranteed to get X amount of votes to make sure the bill gets passed all the way through, so the president can sign it into law. So that's why people just vote Democrat. So it's like we know that everybody's just gonna support each other's the bills when they come through. Wait. Did I answer ask the person did I answer, is that a good answer for them? Because I could try to clear some of that up a little bit.
Okay. Is his answer acceptable for you, Ken Dog? Did you get what he was saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the building too, man. Make sure you all hit that like button. I mean, I see your question up, y'all. I mean, I think at this point in 2020, man, we really gotta begin to look at people from their intentions. All of that skin color shit, that shit gotta be out the window, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of black judges, especially black woman judges, that's destroying a lot of black men. Meek Mill talked about that. Black women judges. So we got to get out of that whole colorist type of shit. We gotta look at people's intentions for people, because a person's intentions, it really displays who a person really is over their skin color. We got to get up out of that shit, man. That's the oldest game. And even that is trickery in itself. That's how they was able to get people like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and all these other sellouts to sell us out for all these years. We didn't know none of that shit until we got older and had to know that there was a such thing as black sellouts. So if we know there's black sellouts, we can't be focused on skin color. That's silly. That's not being logical. We gotta stop falling for that shit.
Yes, you're right. That's what I said. But again, that's something that people gotta. That I was trying to make that point to somebody who talked about, well, the Republicans put a black man on the Supreme Court. I'm like, they put Clarence Thomas, that black man who's been ruling against black people's interests ever since he been there. What did that help the black community? They may as well have put a white Klansman out there. He doing the same damn thing. The same thing. So it's not just, you're right, it's not just about skin color, because there's a lot of black people who sell you out down the river for a $10 hour job. For a $10 hour job, they'll sell the whole community down the river.
Exactly, man. It's a lot of us. It's a lot of us, man, that want to be part of the talented 10. They want to be part of that. Them boule 10% people, them Jack and Jill motherfuckers that look down on people that are in a lower class. And that's really the name of the game. It's classism. Them black people is just as prejudiced as a goddamn hick in Alabama somewhere. They call us niggas and look at us as monkeys and all that shit just as much as these backwood white folks do, man. These uppity Negroes, they feel the same goddamn way. We need to understand that shit. They look at us the same way. Some of them look at us even worse. They be having some of these Caucasian folk like, God damn, you really feel like that about them? And we known that since back in the day, where you actually had, some Caucasian families that took runaway slaves in and shit like that. Where you had some black families who was closing their doors and locking them shits. So if we really gonna understand what's going on in the world, we definitely gonna have to get rid of some of them dispelling those myths, man, in our mind.
Yeah, because and the crazy part is, the people who do the classism thing in the black community playing a joke on themselves, because at the end of the day, you live in America. You black is black. So you playing a game, with yourself. Like that class shit don't mean nothing to you. You could get killed just the same way anybody else could get killed. Like yesterday, I saw a little show that like Cornelius and them lames did talking about upper class blacks don't be getting killed. I'm like, that's a lie. That's always happened. Black people who in professional classes who see themselves as a breed apart talk about how they get discriminated against all the time, how they get paid less, how they can't buy the cars they want to buy because they got to worry about police pulling them over. They got to worry about this and that. There is no such thing as you're going to clash your way out of racism. Everybody who thinks that way always get their nigga wake-up call, because the nigga wake-up call is undefeated. And I don't know how people can even still think like that in 2020. We watched Barack Obama, a black man, reach the pinnacle of this nation. He became the president, and he had to deal with racism while he was running for the presidency, when he became the president, and after the presidency. He still got to deal with it. So if becoming president can't level you up out of racism, nothing can. So what is the point of looking down on other black people and thinking that, well, you different and what affect them don't affect you and all this other goofy stuff? Ain't no leveling up out of racism. People be playing games with themselves.
Exactly, and that's the whole purpose of the Matrix, for you to feel like you actually doing something when you really just running on a goddamn hamster wheel at the end of the day. And but a lot of black people, man, we suffer from so much trauma that we're willing to put a price on our morals and our integrity and our legacy, man. A lot of black people could just be bought, bro. And I realized that shit. And I realized that dealing with the conscious community. You and me both know that. A lot of them niggas is bought and paid for, man.
Of course they are. That's why that's one of the reasons they always switching up. One of the reasons some of them switch up because they stupid. The other ones switch up because they bought and paid for. It's just that simple. Like Tariq Nasheed, when he said that the white boys offered to pay him to bash black immigrants. We know you took that money, nigga. Your whole conscious community pro black era career is about bigging up black people from all over the place. Or you're hitting colors documentaries about black people in other countries in Africa. You did the 1804 documentary, and then now out of nowhere you hate black immigrants now, and they the problem. They the ones causing all the problems in the black community. Like let's be serious. We know you took that money. You try to play games like, oh, they offered me the money to do it, but I didn't take it. The fact that that should have been the red flag that made people stop fucking with Tariq. The fact that you talking in a manner that white supremacists say, you know what? I like the way you talking, boy. Take some of this money and keep talking like that.
I ain't even know that, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah.
He actually admitted that shit?
Yeah, I got the video on my channel. He admitted it out of his own mouth. Talking about how the white boys was watching his videos and was hitting them up like, yeah, Tariq, we like the way you talking about them. Keep going in on them. We got a bag for you. Keep going in. It's the same thing with Yvette when she a part of PIFA. All these people getting exposed as being a part of these racist white groups. They supposed to be so pro-black, but you got all these white people coming out of nowhere, throwing money in their pocket, trying to put them down with movements with them, bigging them up. Just like young Pharaoh promoting all these fake conspiracy theories to try to help Trump get reelected. All those white people out of nowhere coming to him to try to downplay the coronavirus and try to make it seem like this is just some Democratic hoax. Oh, it's the Democrats' fault, and Trump is the best thing since sliced bread.
Wow. So, bro, now that we talking about this, I just came up with this question. Everybody that we just talked about, are they or are they not Democrats?
Who?
Tariq, don't they vote Democrat? Tariq, Yvette, aren't they all in favor for the Democratic Party?
No. Yvette is faking the funk like she's in favor of them, but she's not. She's not. That's what to try to throw people off. Because remember, the reason that Tariq and them started beefing is because Tariq started bigging up Trump, and they told Tariq to stop doing it because the reason they started telling people to vote down ballot Democrat is because people was accusing them of being Trump supporters because they was supporting Trump. So now they try to throw people off by saying, well, vote Democrat, but they telling you to vote in elections that ain't got nothing to do with Trump, which is going to help him still win. None of them people are actually Democrats. And the funny thing about that, I want to say this too, that I wanted to say earlier. Black people are not Democrats. Black people just vote Democrat because they feel that they could get them because they better than the Republicans on racial issues. Remember, black people used to vote Republican. It was a time when black people in the North voted Democrat and the black people in the South voted Republican because they could get, because the blacks in the South could get more out of the Republicans and blacks in the North could get more out of the Democrats. Black people just vote for whatever party they feel they could get the most out of. We ain't no Democrats. The only black people you ever gonna see loyal to an actual party is black Republicans. With this, those are the people who actually loyal, who are actually members of the party and want to and support them like that. But the average rank and file black person who votes Democrat, they ain't voting Democrat because they Democrats. They voting Democrat because they feel the Democrats are better than Republicans on race issues. That's it. Most black people don't even agree with a lot of stuff that the Democrats even promote. It's just a lot of times, because remember, sometimes when you vote for somebody, it's not because you're voting for them, you're voting against somebody else. It's like, I don't fuck with you, but I don't fuck with that person more. So I'm gonna support you just to keep them out of office.
Right. Oh, okay.
That's what a lot of black people do. The only people I ever seen actually vote for a party because they're like a quote unquote member of the party. It's like black people were like Republicans. Like
and I was gonna bring that up, bro, because basically I noticed that most black people who are Democrats, they're only Democrat because the Democratic Party has been pandering to the black community for so long, to where it's like we were basically raised to be Democrats because of that reason. Whenever I ask black people or have these conversations, okay, why are you actually voting for the Democratic candidate? What is, like, what are they actually going to do? How does this interest you? How does this, how does this help you? A lot of these people can't give, they cannot give me an answer. And that shit boggles me because it's like, okay, you against the Republicans and you got all these reasons why you against the Republicans, but you can't tell me why the fuck you really siding with the Democrats. Like, what are they actually going to do for you? But you could tell me what the Republicans are not going to do. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's how black people have always voted. Remember, Martin Luther King was a Republican, but he switched sides to the Democrats once they said they was going to do the Civil Rights Act. It's the same thing right now. That's why we know the Republicans ain't really trying to help black people. The day the Republicans actually make an effort to help black people and black people get more out of it by going with the Republicans and the Democrats, they're gonna switch over to the Republicans like that. Black people ain't got no loyalty to none of these parties. That's the biggest misconception about black people ever. Black people gonna vote for the party that offer the most. Or if they don't offer the most, the party who's gonna protect them from the party who's trying to hurt them the most. Period. Black people was rolling with the Republicans during the Civil War. Why? Because Abraham Lincoln was a Republican and the North was Republican. Black people was rolling with the Democrats during the Civil Rights era. Why? Because LBJ was a Democrat and LBJ was the one putting the civil rights legislation, was the one who was pushing for it and was going to sign it into law. That's it. Like Trump could actually get black support if he just actually did stuff for black people. Black people are not loyal to no party.
So I'm glad you admitted that, because I've been saying that for a long time, man. We've lost, black people have lost a political footing. We don't even understand the political process. So we're just sheep, bro. We just being led, just led to the slaughter. Hey, pick him. Hey, pick her. Hey, she got hot sauce in her back pocket. And to respond to what you said, Soul Shader, yeah, most Democrats are in favor for black women because black women are the pillars of the black church. So that's why. So I agree, Soul Shader.
Yeah, but I don't. But again, a lot of black people are not really being sheep with it. Some are, but not really, because it's like, all right. Again, like I said, they're gonna just vote for the party they feel like they can do. That's just got black people interest the most. That's it. That's it. We don't actually have a party. Black people have never had a party. That's what we do. We just go for whatever side we feel we get the best for.
And that's and there, yo, that's crazy, because now that really ties into what a lot of the Republicans say about black people. Like, what the fuck could we really be complaining about and mad at when we don't even know what we want? We don't ask for shit. We don't know how to ask. We don't like, and that's crazy. That's crazy. Because logically speaking, that makes sense. How could we be upset about what happens to us in society if we're not even a part of the political process? We don't even understand how to get involved. We don't know what to do. What you just said, bro, we just picking who's saying they're gonna give us the most. So that's like, that's like spitting out the goddamn car. Wherever it land is gonna land. So it's like nothing is guaranteed to black people, and both parties know that they don't have to guarantee us shit, because they know they could just say, well, we're gonna give you this or we're gonna give you that, and they get the vote, and then they don't have to give it to us. And a lot of times they don't. Oh man. We got a long way to go, man. We got a long way to go.
Yeah, but that also goes back to, again, what we said at the beginning, when I was telling people about how when you actually had politicians offering things, and they asking people what do they want, everybody got a different answer. Everybody got a different answer. There's no togetherness. There's no organization where people can actually sit down and decide what they want, what's better, and come to the politicians with the agenda. Like when you've been asking me this whole time, what is Joe Biden going to do for black people? The real question should be, what have black people asked for? See, you don't go to a politician and ask them to create an agenda for you, and then you sit around saying, well, I don't like that, I don't like this. You create your own agenda, then you go to them with your agenda. Facts. Nobody's sitting around waiting for politicians to come up with ideas on immigration. People already came up with their own ideas about what they want immigration to be, and they come to the politicians with that, saying, hey, do you support that? Yes or no?
Right, because that's how the process actually works. You don't ask them to give you something that they want to give you. You go and you're basically paying them for them to give you what you want. It's about favor. You're buying, you're basically paying to get what you want. So we're gonna elect you, but you're gonna have to do what we want to do. So of course we supposed to present the plan. But see, we don't even understand that, bro. That's crazy how we working backwards, but we sitting around wanting to be upset about shit. I don't get it.
And again, that's how we got Biden. Everybody working, everybody's all over the place. Like I said, nobody know what they want. Everybody all over the place. And plus, they already know that at least 12 million black people going to vote for whoever the Democratic candidate is. And no matter if it was a broomstick, they're going to vote for it. And they understand that the people who asking for stuff, they trying to work with them, but they don't know what they want. They all over the place. So they just say, you know what? We'll just bring Biden back and get the other votes. Because people, again, working backwards. Like I said, like the people who was claiming that they was doing all this political stuff and they was going to help black people and all this other goofy stuff, no black vote, no agenda. Y'all the reason Biden is here. Y'all the reason he's here. Because when people was coming to you and saying, what is a black agenda? Nobody could answer it. I mean, when Bernie Sanders went to Charlemagne, he's like, well, we want tangibles. They like, what is tangibles? That's just the word. What is it? What are the tangibles you want? What is the black agenda you want? You just sloganeering. You just putting out slogans, because when people ask you, what is it exactly you want? Nobody can answer. And when people start answering, you getting again, 5 people giving you 7 different answers. That's not, you can't work like that.
That's a fact. And that goes back to what I've said. There is no black community, because that goes back to what you said earlier about voting blocks. That's how you, that is what a voting block is. But if we are not operating as a community, which one of the essential things of a community is organization. We lack organization. With the lack of organization, we lack solidarity. We lack unison in thought. So that's why you got a bunch of people asking for different shit. And we don't understand that, a politician is not fucking Santa Claus. We going to a politician coming with a laundry list of shit. Like, this ain't Santa Claus. We supposed to come as a group and say, this is what black folk want. We want this. And if you can get us this, we guarantee you this amount of votes. You're going to get this, you're going to get this state, this state, this state, this state, because we operating out of these states. So you see what happens when there is no black community? You see what happens when there is no organization? Come on, man.
And yeah, back to, because again, like I said before, if you actually sit down and watch those interviews with Charlemagne and those candidates are Charlemagne is asking them what they gonna do instead of telling them what we want you to do. And again, when they say, all right, well, since you asking me, I'm gonna tell you what I want to do. And then they're gonna say, and then Charlemagne said, we want tangibles. What is tangibles? What is a black agenda? This is what happened before when Tariq started saying the black agenda, and Roland Martin said, you ain't got no black agenda. You just saying black agenda. You just saying it and it doesn't mean anything. Tariq was squared up and down. He had a black agenda. And then what did he do? That same week, he did a live stream trying to come up with a black agenda. They couldn't come up with one. So he started saying reparations, which is not even low-hanging fruit. That's fruit on the ground. It's so easy to say reparations. Say, well, what do you want? Reparations. And then when people ask you for the details of reparations, you don't know them. You ain't got to do light on details. So they say, all right, so what is reparations? That's your job to come up with that. Like, no, y'all come up with it. Y'all figure it out. Who tells somebody else to figure it out? Because what if they figure it out and they figure that they owe you what, $5,000 a piece? Because I heard somebody say that. And what you gonna say to that? That's too low. Because matter of fact, it was Bernie Sanders who said it. He said, y'all asking me for reparations. What is that? $5,000 a piece? Because instead of people coming to him with a number, he got to make up the number.
Mm-hmm.
So even when people asking for reparations, they're not even doing it right. Because again, if you ask people, how much is it? Nobody can give you an answer. Everybody got a different answer. If you ask them, how is it supposed to be paid out? How much is it? These are questions you're supposed to be answering for yourself. None of these groups can answer that. Yvette can't answer it. Tone can't answer it. Tariq can't answer it. And every time people ask them, well, you ain't asked, they say something stupid like, well, y'all didn't have to ask all this when y'all was giving Japanese reparations and the Jews reparations, which is a lie they did.
It's a fact. The Jews told them exactly what the fuck they wanted.
Like
I don't know what they talking about.
Like they didn't leave it up to other people to figure it out. Like, hey, you figure it out and you just keep coming up with a number until I say I'm happy. And then, but even if you try to do it that way, other people are going to say, well, I'm not happy. Because there's people who are not happy with 10 trillion. There's people who are not happy with 20 trillion. Mm-hmm. There's people who are not happy with 30 trillion. There's people who are not happy with getting paid in money. There's people who don't want it to be in no money. But because there's no organization and people ain't sort this out among themselves, nobody know. You got a bunch of people just yelling a bunch of different things, and then what happened? The politicians are going to do what they do. They're going to say, you know what? Forget y'all. We're going to go find somebody who know what they want.
Facts. That's a fact.
Facts. Again, and that's why Joe Biden is back. That's why he's back. Because those people, those white people that they trying to get Joe Biden to bring back, they know what they want. They know what they want. You don't have. We don't have to have no goofy conversation when you telling me you want tangibles, and I gotta sit around and talk to you for damn near half an hour trying to figure out what the fuck is tangibles.
Facts. Facts. So yeah, bro, I'm not gonna keep you too much longer, man. We almost at an hour and 45 minutes, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Cash App $SHEEPSTAYSLEEPTV. Yo, Haven, drop your Cash App in the chat, bro, if you can. Anybody, if y'all want to donate to Haven for coming through tonight, you know, and having this great conversation with me, man, y'all definitely hit him up, man. Show him some love. Hit his Cash App up. Drop your Cash App in the chat room, Haven.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that, but my Cash App is $Haven Bullets. So if anybody want to know,
Haven Bullets, I put it in there.
And yeah, and if you don't know, you could just go to my channel. It's up there. The channel, like it's in the description box. The chat, my PayPal or my Cash App.
Okay, well, I put it in the chat. $Haven Bullets. All right, I got you, bro. Well, I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in tonight, man. I ain't gonna hold you that much longer, bro. I appreciate the conversation as always, man. It's always a pleasure. I'm definitely gonna hit you up on the back end, man, and we gonna figure something out on the next one, bro.
Yeah, we can definitely do that because again, and yeah, we could talk about because I just got my microphone back because like wait, stop. Let me talk. Go in the living room. Yeah, I just got my microphone back because I was making videos with the cell phone, and it was like because my microphone broke, but because of the coronavirus, I couldn't get a new one because I got insurance and stuff, but I couldn't go out and get a new one because of the thing. But now I was able to get a new microphone so I can make pretty much videos more in depth and go in more on subjects about like how I feel, what's gonna happen, how this is gonna happen, and just keep predicting the future.
Facts, man, and I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to I think I see you in the chat, man. Shout out to you though. Shout out to Tori. Yeah, shout out to you, Tori. Shout out to you, man, for hitting that Cash App. I appreciate it, man. Haven Bullets Cash App is in the chat room. $Haven Bullets. Y'all want to donate to the brother for coming through tonight. I appreciate all the love and the support. Shout out to y'all. One love to the masculine mercenaries. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the share button. I appreciate all the donations. Much love to y'all. I appreciate you once again, Haven. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one, man. Y'all have a good night. I'm going to catch y'all tomorrow. One love, y'all. Remember, brothers, we are our own agency. We are our own agency, man. I'm going to catch y'all later. Peace.
Yeah. Peace.